Hi everybody, we are joined today by Mr. Naoya, and today we're going to have a look at the most iconic model in the range, the first model in the range, the Type 1. And because we have seen many revisions of the Type 1 over the years, I thought it'd be fun to do a history of the Type 1. So firstly, could you explain what the Type 1 is in your collection?
Type 1 series is our first collection. Actually, we started the watchmaking project in 2012, long time ago.
Wow.
We spent 6 years to make one first prototype, named Type 1A. This is a prototype we never sold. So we only make, one piece was made, and we still keep it in our safe.
It's aged well.
Yes.
It's aged very well.
Yeah, because our dial is made of German silver.
Yeah.
And German silver, as you may know, it will be change the color, like patinage.
Very strong flavor, especially in the case shape.
Exactly. At that time, I want to create a vintage style design inspired the wristwatch with a latest generation technology and handcrafted technique. It's still no change as of today. But at that time, I maybe did too much for some detail.
It's very distinctive.
And we made this one as a prototype, but I'm not 100% sure for detail balance. Therefore, I decided to stop the launch. And then 2019, we launched our first commercial piece named the Type 1B. We sold 7 watches. 5 pieces went to a Japanese client, including Mr. Kamine, our friend, and 2 pieces went to a Hong Kong client, including you.
Me and one of the Armoury's customers.
Exactly.
Right. It's funny, I mean, just from the Type 1A to the 1B.
Yep. Only 1 year.
The idea was already set.
Yep.
The idea was it was sub-seconds at 9.
Yep.
And the movement.
Yep.
Actually, from the very beginning, you were already planning on using this movement. Could you tell us a little bit more about the movement?
Actually, I love a small size case, but I prefer to make a watch with a bigger, as much as possible, bigger movement inside. Therefore, when we start to design the watch for 37mm size, we are looking for the appropriate size of movement for the watch. We have 3 potential making plan. Firstly, making a 100% original movement, which is very ideal. But at that time, we have no capacity, no experience, and no also time to making a movement from scratch. Therefore, we are studying based on vintage movement. I think it's a very attractive idea, but at that time also we have no experience in making a movement based on vintage movement. Also difficult to get the spare parts. Therefore we quit. And then we choose a third way, which is we purchase a movement from Switzerland and heavily modify to making a manual winding movement. This is our original idea for Type 1. We purchased a famous Barugio 7750 movement, chronograph self-winding movement, and we disassemble everything, and we made bridges and some quick spring components to transform to manual winding movement.
I mean, the 7750, you really simplified it.
Yes,
you really deconstructed it.
Exactly. And also try to give a bolder and very strong feeling when you're rewinding a crown.
It's become a good base for you too, because many of the other types have benefited from using the 7750 as a base.
Exactly.
Okay, so 1A, 1B, 1B was snapback. It was the first sort of more commercially available piece. And then 1C?
Yes. After we made 7 pieces with the Type 1B, I'm not 100% satisfied the detail and the balances of the watch. Therefore, from 2020, we moved to a 3rd generation Type 1C. Type 1C was our 2nd generation, 3rd generation of our Type 1 series, and we manufacture total 30 pieces from 2020 and 21, 2 years. And it's change width of the lugs and the material of the sapphire crystal and movement specification will change. So many small details will change.
Yeah. I mean, that's typical of your brand too.
Yeah.
Like you're always making small little adjustments here and there.
Usually when we launch a new product, I try to wear by myself for a year. And when I wearing my latest watches prototype, I realized, okay, I need to improve this. And then we try to improve these details for next generation. And then after making a total 30 pieces of Type 1C, we have launched Type 1D in 2022. This is our first wristwatch with a screwed case back. This is screwed case back is one of my favorite detail. But for as a first step, we difficult to make. Therefore, we need waiting for a long time. And finally, we can do it.
I mean, with the screw back, also the watch started to feel a little bit thinner, even though it wasn't actually different thickness.
Actually,
It was
total
the bevel.
thickness is the same, but
Right.
it looks like thinner means I change the shape of legs and middle case. Therefore, I think people feel it's a little bit thinner.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah?
It is interesting. I mean, just even in these 4 generations, like you feel the thing getting a little bit more compact.
Yeah.
And what about this?
This is our first two-tone watch, stainless steel and yellow gold, Type 1D1. It's a derivative version of a Type 1D. When I joined the watch industry a long time ago, I hate two-tone watches. At that time, I feel that two-tone watch is for a very old guy, the status symbol watch. But after I getting old and I change my mind, oh, two-tone watch is good. Very easy to wear for every day.
I think so. I like two-tone. I weirdly have been on this sort of two-tone obsession with old Rolexes. I really like old two-tone Rolexes.
Yeah.
And you know, in Chinese, there's a phrase, or in Hong Kong, there's
Yeah.
a phrase. Two-tone Rolexes are for factory managers.
Factory manager's
Like
watch.
somehow, like if you own a factory,
Uh-huh.
right, and you made a bit of money, then
Yeah.
you buy yourself a two-tone
Wow,
Rolex. Yeah.
that's a great content.
So it's a very specific sort
Wow.
of metaphor.
Factory manager, factory owner.
Yeah, factory
Okay,
owner watch.
Interesting.
And this was the first time you had gold hands as well, huh?
Exactly. We tested gold hands and gold bezel. Of course, we want to create a full gold watch, but at that time our budget is so limited. Therefore, we try to making a two-tone watch as a first step.
I see.
And in 2023, we have launched our first full gold watch named the Type 1D2.
So heavy.
Yeah, very heavy.
So good though. And this was the first time you started to use gold in the chapter ring. Too.
Exactly. Because I'm big fan of a vintage style gold drop or mini track. I think these detail was available from 1920 or 30s, long time ago, very old detail. I try to be modernized in these old detail. I have idea making a very tiny gold pin, polished, and should be inlay from backside of the ring, and finally assemble it. It makes very small detail, but it looks like a more layer and a more 3D detail. And it's very expensive, also takes time to make it, but we did. And I'm so happy to see the detail. This is something very tiny, but our one with signature detail.
I love it. And it's the most complicated dial for you to make. 'Cause so many
So
components.
far, yes, for us. So from a Type 1D series, our dial is made from 3 components. For first of ABC, 3 generation made coming from 2 components, which is dial is more complicated. And from this gold version, dial is more complicated, which is a total 63 components.
I see.
Yeah.
And then 1D3.
Yes, our first full engraved case decoration watch. with a gold case.
Do you feel like this is the end of the 1D? Like, do you consider this the end of the 1D series?
No. When I designed and we made this one, I think we already start to think about the collaboration piece with Josh Shapiro. Therefore, I think for me, it's not the end of a Type 1D at that time. Huh?
God, it's beautiful. It's also interesting because we were looking at some of the other new releases for this year. And on the Type 3 moon phase, the mid case is a matte finish. But on this one, actually, it's the usual polish finish, huh?
Actually, no polish, just engraved.
Just engraved.
Yeah, Kano-san didn't. Actually, when we made the first prototype for this engraved piece, Kano-san did a matte finish for a base.
I see.
And he tried to polish the detail, but it's not something good. Therefore, Kano-san decided making these engraved, this detail just engraved, no matte finish, no polish.
I see.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And you went back to the really heavy numerals on this too.
Yes, because when I designed the gold case, I designed the first as same as a Type 1D series. But when we incorporated with a previous dial into a gold case, maybe index is too weak compared to a shiny, strong gold case. Therefore, I designed a little bit bolder index compared to a Type 1, normal Type 1D, stainless steel Type 1D.
I see.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is interesting, yeah. I mean, the weight of the fonts always change, and it changes the character of the watch so much. You know?
Yeah.
I do love like the very delicate engraving from the earliest models.
Yeah.
But then once you have like a gold case, you kind of you need the boldness. Really, you do need the boldness.
Personally, I love a very delicate, narrow Break Arabic. Therefore, when we start to discuss about the collaboration piece with Josh Shapiro and Armoury, I use a very narrow and delicate font for this special collaboration watch.
Yeah, I mean it made sense on this watch especially because you had the guilloche, and it was such a sort of breguet flavored watch.
Exactly.
You needed that finer font on there. Balance is great though.
But I think in the history of watchmaking, guilloche dial is a very narrow breguet Arabic is a pretty rare.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Huh? Interesting.
Not so many cases combined with breguet Arabic with a guilloche.
Right.
Not so many. Interesting.
Oh, I love this watch. Thank you for doing it with us.
My pleasure. We made a stainless steel version and the gold version. Unfortunately, we have no sample for gold version.
Yeah, all gone. They're
All gone.
They're all with their owners now.
Yeah.
And the latest.
Yes, this year we are happy to announce that we launch a 5th generation Type 1 series named the Type 1E. Our first 36mm case with a newly developed double curved dome shape sapphire crystal.
Yeah. Yeah, the crystal shape is so different.
Yeah.
It's really, it's beautiful.
Cute.
Like you can't tell. It's hard to say if it's a vintage watch or a new watch. You know, it's its own thing, which has always been kind of your philosophy on watches. And for the 36mm case, you actually simply trimmed down the case slightly.
Exactly. Dial size is the same, exactly same as a Type 1D.
Yeah.
We just making a new case, especially middle case bezel and the sapphire crystal.
It makes the dial feel even more strong.
Exactly.
Because the
1
proportion of the
millimeter
case.
small, but I try to design a little bit powerful, stronger design of the case, middle case. And also the more curvy sapphire crystal make something distortion on the dial.
Yeah.
Therefore, I think in total, you can see a little bit stronger, powerful compared to a Type 1D.
Do you have a favorite? I know everyone probably asks you this, but do you have a favorite of all the revisions?
For me, the maybe first one or latest one is my favorite. In my mind, we already start to think about the Type 1F, next generation. So maybe our watchmaking journey is never end as usual.
The watchmaking journey never ends.
Yeah.
Having made the Type 1A more than 10 years ago,
Yeah.
is this what you expected?
No. At that time, I feel that the 37 millimeter size is small enough. And also, how many people expected to buy the brand from us? Such like no one knows our name and a small company, stainless steel, but the retail price is pretty high. Movement is not 100% original. I a little bit worry.
Of course.
Not a little bit. I worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But successfully, we are able to solve the 7 PCs thanks to your help. And every year, quantities increase.
Yeah.
And now we can challenge a 36 millimeter version. It's smaller version. So.
Why did you want to make a 36 instead of going to a 38 or a 40?
For me, all the time I'm thinking about the case size and the movement size, but it must be balanced. For me, 36 or 37 is a perfect size for me. I don't want to go to a 30, maybe 38 is okay, but 39 and 40 is for me too big. Therefore, maybe 38 is a maximum. Smaller size, maybe 30 or 31 centimeter as what we launched this year. This is my small spot. I want to making a watch case size in these zone.
Do you feel like it's your personal experience that made you want to reduce the size a little bit? Like you wore a 37 millimeter Type 1 for so long, you kind of wanted something a little bit smaller.
Yeah. Maybe when I have met with many U.S. clients in our trunk show in New York, I have met with so many very tall, big U.S. clients. Some of them have a very bold list, but they told me that I love small size watch. I love Patek Philippe 96. I love your Type 4, 6 millimeter. I'm so impressed. Even very much taller guy, bigger guy compared to me, love a small size. Okay, why not we will produce a 36 meter even more smaller size?
So the 36 millimeter actually, the Type 4 in 36 millimeter
Exactly.
actually gave you a bit of encouragement.
Exactly. So now I feel more freedom. Okay, we can make a smaller size as I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Well, this has been such a pleasure to see the whole Type 1 range like this. You know, it's so much variety. Considering, look, the rules has to be sub-seconds at 9, brigade numerals. And despite that, like there's a lot of variation between all the models. They all have their own character because of the details. I mean, I think following this collection for so long with you, you know, I learned a lot about the importance of details too. Like just going from snapback to screw back, you know, and from snapback to screw back, the case proportions had to change a little bit for the better, you know, and they feel like very distinct watches. You know, I hope any viewers watching, they also give serious thought to like, oh, how did designers arrive at these details? Because I think it's a really important part of appreciating a good watch.
Yeah.
Well, once again, congratulations. Thank you for this tour through the history of the Type 1.
Thank you.
And that's it for now.
Thank you.